Now.
Like non-stop. I accidentally just sent it to Facebook emoji. Should be
Candle doesn't work.
You got lighter, so it should work.
Testing. Okay, everyone can hear. Can everyone hear me?
Yep.
Okay, that's great. Thank you all for coming here today. Just to let you know, we have a photographer here, and I think someone here is live TikToking it as well. But yeah, thank you all for coming. It's inspiring to see so many people here today, and it's been inspiring to see how many vigils have popped up around the country, and the huge numbers that have been attending. Personally, I've never seen anything quite like it in the LGBTQ community. So I'm not transgender myself, but I can imagine sometimes it might feel the whole world is against you. I can imagine it can feel very isolating, and so it's great to see so many people here today to show that we love and support our transgender siblings, and to show them that we're not stupid and we're not falling for the anti-transgender narratives that the mainstream media are pushing down us. I'd like you all to think about something. I'd like you to think about the greatest moments you've had in your life, the highlights. Think about the most beautiful, uplifting moments you've had. What's the first thing that pops into your head? Now think about how old were you when you had these moments. I know for me personally, my greatest relationships, my greatest friendships, my proudest achievements, none of them occurred before I was 20, let alone before I was 16. For most of us, especially queer people, our teenage years are the preparation. And to be honest, our teenage years are the bullshit we have to go through before we get to the good stuff. Brianna Jai was murdered last Saturday. She was 16 years old. She never had a chance to get to the good stuff. It was snatched from her. And she was snatched from us. We've been reading lots of reports about how helpful she was and how much advice and help she gave to her transgender friends, both in person and online. We can imagine that had she lived in the course of a lifetime, she would have inspired and touched the lives of hundreds. And now all that potential positive energy has been robbed from the universe. And why? Because we live in a society in which fear and distrust of transgender people has become normalized in some quarters. Trickle-down economics doesn't work, but trickle-down transphobia and trickle-down hatred does. When the people at the top, who should know better, when the people at the top, like so many MPs and so much of our media and so much people in the public eye, when these people who are supposed to be setting an example, instead they spout lies and fear and hatred of transgender people. This trickles down and this spreads and permeates society. The final result being average people concluding that transgender people don't deserve to live and that they're justified in cutting them down. We're all sad and angry today. I ask you to remember that feeling and keep it in you to help you, inspire you to continue to be great allies. I ask you to love and support transgender people, and that's transgender people of all ages, from 16 to 60 and beyond, and transgender people of all ethnic backgrounds. and transgender people regardless of where they are in their transition timeline. I ask you to call out transphobic, edgy humour when you come across it. If it's in the workplace, report it. Try and create safe, inclusive work environments. It's these toxic environments in which transphobic jokes are left to flourish, which creates this culture where people think abuse against transgender people is accepted. I'm going to ask you in a moment if anyone else wants to say a few words. Particularly, we'd love to hear from some transgender people themselves. But for now, I ask we take a minute's silence to reflect on the events of the last week. Thank you. Thank you. Would anyone else like to say a few words?
When I heard about Brianna, it struck home. I was born in Manchester and I spent my formative years in culture. And even though I left 40, 50 years ago, the distance in time and mileage between me and Brianna disappears because I remember culture and I remember Lemia Park where she was murdered, and I remember what it was like there, and I wasn't welcome up here for who I am. I would have hoped it would have been the same welcome down there, but Brianna has proven that's not the case. It has struck me hard, even though I'm so far from her murder.
I didn't know Brianna, and a lot of us didn't, but I'm sure we're all horrified. This country says it's here for its people, but where was the protection for Brianna? Where was the so-called justice? Where was the accountability with the media, with its blatant disrespect? The dead naming, the misgendering, and the general disrespect of a young girl who was murdered. I grieve for her, both as just a general person and as a fellow trans person. She deserved better. And my heart goes out for her, and for her family, and for her friends. We're living in such a delicate time for the trans community. But this government, this country as a whole, has not been doing its part. We need to be there for our fellow trans people. This is the time to speak out, and this is the time to say no. That is wrong. We deserve better. We don't deserve to be murdered. We don't deserve to be disrespected. I am lucky. I have an amazing support group. I have people who support me. And I, luckily, have never been in such a dangerous situation. But I can't say that for everybody, because this country does not do anything. This country, there's so many things wrong, so many things right. And it's the time to speak out. We need to do what our fellow trans ancestors did and speak up. Thank you.
This is the most run-of-the-mill statement I could make. But Brianna didn't deserve this. No one deserves to be bullied, harassed, the victim of hate crime simply for being themselves. No one deserves to die for living as they are. Brianna deserved better. Most of you don't know me. Brianna didn't know me. I didn't know Brianna. However, I have felt the impact of her senseless murder. The fear that has struck the community resonates through us all. We are scared. We are shaken. For ourselves and others. For our trans siblings. For our family. For our friends. For our partners. The police refused to admit this was a hate crime, and that is diabolical. For the media to emphasise she was trans without a mention of the harassment she was put through, and to misgender her is diabolical. No wonder we are scared. Is no wonder trans people across the UK by this. It's no wonder we are so scared when we have no protection and we get no justice. The streets I once called home feel a little less friendly now. Passers-by now feel more like a threat. The world feels drained of colour, like it is mourning for the loss. And words cannot express the grief I feel. The sadness, the heartache, the anger. The anger that this was all allowed to happen again. The anger that our community has lost another bright spark. The sadness that someone so young was murdered in cold blood just for being them. The sadness that Brianna will never get to see what this community will become. She won't get to grow old or transition as much or as little as she wishes. She won't get to become her own wonderful person. I am filled with anger and grief over the fact we have lost another one of our trans siblings far too young, and all because of the ignorance and hate that our government continues to further. To all of those who have felt the shockwaves of this senseless, hate-filled murder, I am sorry. There is still hope. Band together, hold each other close, never forget how important community is. Be angry, be sad, be grief-stricken. Hold those in power accountable. Shout, scream, cry, protest, but do not let Brianna be forgotten. To those of you who knew Brianna, I am so sorry for your loss. She did not deserve this. You did not deserve this. I am so sorry she was treated in such a horrible way, and nothing I can say will make up for the loss of life. Nothing I can say will make up for any of this. Nothing I can say will bring her back. No amount of protests and vigils will bring her back. She was so cruelly wronged, and I am incredibly sorry that she has been lost. And to Brianna, I am sorry that you were treated in such a way. You were so authentically yourself, you did not deserve this. You didn't deserve this just for being you. I truly cannot express how sorry and how grief-stricken I am over the loss of you. You were far too young. 16 is far too young. Rest easy and fly high. There is so much I could say, and none of it will make it okay. I can only hope that me and my partner will get to grow old enough to transition, to live our lives as authentically as we can, to get married. And I can only hope that we get that chance that she didn't. Thank you.
So like most people here, I didn't know Brianna myself, but I'm right to say that I did get to know her, unfortunately, after her passing. This crime, what happened to her, was awful, disgusting, and I don't even know what else to say, what's not already been said by the amazing people that already has talked. But the amount of stuff I've seen online about her is both amazing and disgusting. The amount of hate that she's been getting should not be there, not for anybody who's passed. And the amount of support that she's also gotten, it's amazing and disgusting, as I said. And unfortunately, most of the things I was going to say has already been said. I hope people here who have seen her TikTok or seen videos of her realise that she was a beautiful young girl just starting her transition into a beautiful woman that she will no longer regret to be. That's all I say.
Hi, I was really sorry to hear of this tragic loss of a young life and our family and friends who are left behind. This world is broken and there's so much hatred and bullying against lots of individuals, including others. But this is for the young lassie last week, just to say how sorry and broken this world is, and left behind such broken-hearted family and friends as well, and the rest of people who are transsexual or anything. What more can I say? But rest in peace, girl. She was only a child. Right, thank you.
Like everyone else, I didn't know Brianna, but she was only 2 years younger than me when she was brutally murdered. And I am absolutely in shock and horrified, just like everyone else. Everything Brianna went through was not deserved. And I am in fear every day for myself and my friends and family who are trans. I am scared that one day their faces or my own will be in the news, that we will go through what she has gone through, and I do not want that.
I've been doing this for a little longer than a good number of you, but anyway. What happened to Brianna is appalling, shocking, diabolical, and should be answered. But the way to answer it is not by being frightened, not by being scared, not by locking ourselves in our houses. I have two words: nil carborundum. Do not let them grind us down. Go out into the shops, into the schools, into the pubs, into the cafes. Be loud, be proud. Remember where pride came from. Remember Stonewall. You don't get nothing by lying down in front of the steamroller. You get stuff, you get change by standing up and punching the steamroller in the face. And that is what we have to do. We need strength, we need power, we need visibility. We are only where gay men were 20 years back. I come from a generation where even in my schoolmates amongst certain loutish groups, and pardon the word, packy bashing was a perfectly acceptable hobby. That changed. That has stopped. The campaign and the hatred of us will stop, but only if we keep on standing up and saying, you ain't doing this no more. Nil fucking carborundum. And that is for Brianna, it is for Sophie Lancaster, it is for all the others who have suffered this way. Yes, there will be blood. Yes, there will be victims. That is the way of things. We are fighting a war. They want a war. Let's give them a bloody war. Let's make ourselves as loud and as proud and as vicious as we possibly can be. Pride is coming back to Inverness in July. I expect to see every single fucking one of you there, marching with us, supporting us, giving us your money because the gods alone know we need it. It's been 3 years, we're broke. But yes, remember them all. Remember the soldiers who have gone before. Do not let their deaths be in vain. Brianna and Sophie would not want us to sit quietly and curl up and die in the corner saying, oh, it's so bad, I can't go on anymore.
Any transphobic more comments, you're all getting blocked.
Make yourselves known.
End off.
Strength in numbers, my darlings. We will win once they realise we are normal and there are so many of us that they can't just argue anymore. Next.
Nice one.
Thank you, darling.
Would anybody else like to have say anything?
Hi there. Yeah, I'm not really the one for speeches, but I feel as if I should say something. I mean, I feel sorry for Brianna. You know, it could have been any one of us. Could have been me. You know. Let's not forget that God loves you. That cross for you. But love is the answer. Let us rise like a phoenix from the ashes and soar in the skies. Let us show all those that hate us that we love them, and that love is the answer, for it is the only thing that will last forever. Everything else is impermanent, apart from love and God. Amen.
You okay?
Yeah, I might go speak.
Go on.
I am not transgender myself, but I am very fortunate because two of my best friends are. And I've grown up seeing them question themselves, seeing the beautiful women they've turned out to be. Has it come to this now, whenever this is in the news constantly, that another young transgender man or woman, or another non-binary, or gender fluid, or genderqueer has been murdered? Do I have to worry about them? Worrying about their safety because some bigot out there thinks that they should be dead because they're different? Is this what it's come to? What happened to Brianna will no doubt happen again, unless we rise up and we let them know that we're not going to be murdered anymore. Allies like me will say, we're not going to let this happen anymore. We are going to support our friends, the community, people we don't know. This cannot happen again, and we cannot let this happen again. Rest in peace, Brianna. You were taken too soon.
Would anybody else like to say anything?
No matter what the police try to tell us, the murder of Brianna was a cold-blooded act of hate against trans individuals. She did nothing wrong, and yet she was murdered. The fact that such a thing as a hate crime even exists in this day and age is disheartening to say the least, and it's quite scary.
I didn't even know.
The media is trying to brush this off as just another headline to get attention. But she was not just a headline, she was not just another trans woman. She was a person, she was a daughter, she was a friend. Even though she wasn't my friend, but... And now she's just gone. A trans girl, as a trans girl myself, I can firmly say I do not want to just be another headline, another statistic. Brianna just wanted to live her truth. She just wanted to live her life, as do all trans people. This isn't about toilets, changing rooms, or prisons. We are people that simply want to live our lives the same way as anybody else. And yet, we are denied that very right. We are denied healthcare, we are denied legal protections, we are denied... And we have to struggle every single day just to exist. We have to prove to everyone that we are who we are, and no one deserves to go like she did, and she deserves justice to be served, and for us to change. Rest in power, Brianna.
Got a load of good comments right there.
Anybody else? Thank you all for coming. I think we've run out of people who would like to say anything. It's wonderful to see so much support here at such short notice. Thank you for all for being here, and my wishes, my thoughts are with Brianna, as are yours, and let's hope this is a turning point for better respect for trans people. Let's hope that this proves that what the Scottish Parliament has tried to enact is something that this country needs. Spain has beaten us in gender recognition, etc. That should not happen. The UK should be the land of freedom. Thank you all for being here.
So, for everybody who was sending hate, stop it, because we all here are standing against transphobes. Enough is enough. No more. That'll be the end of the live. This will be the end of the live, so goodbye. You want to say anything less? No? Right.